I think it's nothing serious, but he's still banged up a little bit, so he's kind of day-to-day right now. I don't think he'll be a full participant in practice. Try to see what he can do today.
Is there a chance that he'll be able to recover in time for this game?
I know what Monday's like, so
okay.
I can't predict the future. So I know what his situation is today, and then our training staff does a great job. So Anthony and those guys will monitor him, and we'll see how he feels.
You talked about the calming presence he kind of has on this young team. How much would that be needed in a game like Oklahoma on the road?
Yeah, I think everybody, but I don't think you can just rely on one person. I think you all have to. I think for a lot of those guys, there was a lot of guys who played in their first college football game on Saturday. And they got that off. It's going to be a year of first for a lot of these guys because none of them played before. So they played in one game. Now they get a chance to go on the road and play in one of the best environments in college football. So you got to be excited if you're part of that. So.
What did you think about Dorian when you went back and looked at the tape? Anything different than?
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of good, real positive things to build upon. There's some inconsistency, but that's to be expected for a freshman in his first game. And kind of thrown into the mix. But the one thing that I was really impressed with him is his demeanor and everything. Nothing was too big for him. When you talk to him after series, he knew why, what the breakdown was or where the issue was on that play. He had a really good understanding of what we're doing, so I was pleased with Dorian.
What about Chris Murray? How did he look?
Chris, the same thing. First college football game for Chris, but for a lot of those guys, you were just happy. I was happy for him. I think he competed and he played hard. He got a little sore in the middle of the game, so we let him sit for a couple series, and then he came back in. But I think for a first overall game,
he was up against a pretty good football player too.
Yeah, well, Cincinnati's a good team. Luke's done a nice job with those guys in year two. So I was impressed with how Chris competed. So.
Any other injuries in the game?
Nothing that's out for a period of time or anything. So.
You expect the three guys coming off suspensions to fold back in and be able to play this week?
We'll see how they practice and train. So nothing's given to anybody here. Everything's earned. So we'll see how the week goes with those guys.
If they do come back, how big of a boost is that?
We'll see. Again, I'm not a if this or that. I'm not a if guy. So we'll see how they practice Monday through Thursday, or Monday through Friday, and then we'll make a decision as a staff on Friday where do they fit or do they not fit.
After watching the tape, how did the freshman defensive linemen, the interior?
They were like most of the freshmen, or most of the team. There were some inconsistencies. There were times they flashed and did some really good things. And then there were other things that they need to be corrected on. But part of it, the learning process, is getting a chance to get into a game. You don't have any scrimmages at the college level. You don't have any preseason games. So their first time going against another opponent was last Saturday. So there's some good things to build upon, but there's also some things we have to correct.
What was your plan for Dorian going into the game? You said that
we had planned on he was going to play during the game. We just we had talked it through, and at some point in time we were going to try to get him a rep. We've always done that with a second quarterback. You never want to have to just throw the guy into a game. So say it's week 3, we've played 3 games and he's never played at all. And then you do sustain an injury, but obviously Wilton went down in the middle of that second quarter, so it was probably a little bit earlier than we wanted to put him in. But he had earned playing time, and he knew he was going to play. Going into that game, we had a plan that he was going to get in the game. So.
Did you have a certain situation you were looking for, or were you just kind of waiting for a time?
No, we just wanted to play it out and let Wilton get a good amount of snaps underneath his belt, and then we're going to bring Dorian in.
After watching the tape, how did you think the offensive line performed?
Same as everybody. I think they were inconsistent. It's their first time together as a group. Jake's never played in a game before. Murph just got here. Chris has never played in a game before. Mike Alves is over on the other side. Andre's gone over to the other side. So, there were some good things to build upon, but there were some inconsistencies that we need to clean up.
Would Wilton have to practice before he could play on Saturday?
Everybody practices. There are not many guys that can't practice and play. So, but I don't have a rule that you have to do this or that. It's just I don't think anybody's going to be successful if they don't have a week of practice and understand the game plan. If that was the case, then no one should practice. So, I think everybody's got to practice.
Are there any big takeaways, that things that you think you need to fix as far as after watching the film?
Yeah, there's a ton. We had 6 penalties, 4 offsides. 4 false starts, which are correctable. 1 offsides, which is correctable. 12 guys on the field, which was the coach's fault, which is correctable. So you had 6 administrative penalties that would need to be cleaned up. You had 15 missed tackles on defense that resulted in 75 yards gained after contact. 1 resulted in a touchdown. 2 explosive plays off of that. I think they had 6 first downs off of missed tackles. So there's a lot of things we need to clean up, and that's how we approach things with them as a group. We look at it very analytically, and what can we improve upon? What were the mistakes that were made? What are the solutions to the mistakes? But I know on the offensive side of the ball, we really have to clean up the penalty situation. having a false start is just, I mean, that's just whether it's nerves or jitters, and too many of them early, and then you're trying to play 1st and 15 football as opposed to 1st and 10 football, and you're putting yourself behind. And the statistics will tell you that 1st and 15 isn't very attainable for people. So you wonder why you're shooting yourself to the foot. And false start has nothing to do with your opponent. That's us. Lining up off sides has nothing to do with the opponent. That was us. 12 guys on the field was the coaches. That's us. So all of those things, you would hope that we can clean up here as we move forward. And go from game 1 to game 2.
Going into a game like at Oklahoma, that could be very loud. You try to simulate any kind of crowd noise in practice?
We'll play with, and we have played with noise since we've been here, so that's always part of what we do. So you always got to try to simulate what it's going to be like. You're obviously not going to make it as loud as it's going to be there. I mean, I don't think you can replicate that. We may get in trouble if we make it that loud and get it. So, but our players have to understand that. We've practiced for it, and we'll continue to practice for it. So.
I think on the TV screens there was kind of a sweep the sheds saying. Did you get that from the All Blacks? Did you see that?
I don't know what's on
oh,
the
okay.
TV screen,
On the TV screen in Wasserman, it was just saying.
Yeah, I don't know what's on that. So I don't watch TV. All right, guys.
Thanks.